What happened, man? Is your wife here too? Was she attacked? Is she stabbed?
On August 9th, 2024, the Green Township Police Department responded to a 911 call from a neighbor who had just witnessed a violent attack unfold in front of their residence on Palm Hill Lane.
My neighbor's down the street. It looked like somebody ran out the yard. They were on the porch yelling help. It looks like a man was stabbing a lady and just dragged her body back inside her house.
Upon arrival, officers located 75-year-old Thomas Mortimer, suffering from multiple stab wounds.
Second victim, elderly female.
Okay, still 2 victims out there.
Looks like a non-breather.
His wife was also found injured inside the family home. It quickly became apparent that this was not a random act of violence or a home invasion. The threat had come from within the family itself.
Did he say anything, or did you hear him say anything?
I think he said his son was stabbed. Ken is his son's name. He's got mental problems, I think.
Okay.
We read him as riots because he was already spilling stuff immediately.
And I told the detectives that he was just making a phone call. And they were like, well, who do you think he was calling? And I was like, well, probably 911 since he's bleeding to death.
She just said, you're not staying here. And I told her to shut up. I told her to shut up again. And then my dad said, should we call the police? And my mom said, the police aren't going to do anything. We need to call the crisis unit. And I just grabbed the knife, stabbed my dad.
Did he say anything to you?
I don't remember. He just said something like, stop, or you're killing us, or something. I don't know. I didn't care.
What was the location of your murder scene?
Yeah, 3365 Palm Hill Lane. I just called it in, and it looked like somebody got stabbed down the street.
Yeah.
The guy who did the stabbing is leaving in a Honda, JMW 5145 maybe. It's gray in color. It looks like there's somebody outside the house that got stabbed.
Okay, so I got the plate number. What type of Honda was it again?
It was a gray Honda 4-door.
Despite life-saving efforts, 75-year-old Barbara Mortimer was pronounced dead at the scene, killed by her own son. With the motive still undetermined and Kenneth at large, the Green Township Police Department immediately mobilized to locate the gray Honda Civic he had used to flee.
Is your wife here too? Was she attacked? Is she stabbed? Robert 50 down, 2 victims. Start me another squad, please.
Copy, 2 victims.
Were you stabbed in the side? Where's your wife stabbed at? Okay, I'm gonna go check on her, okay? What's your son's name? This is his last name? Oh. Robert 15, it's a Kenneth Mortimer. It's gonna be their son. Mortimer. Sorry, last name Mortimer.
Thomas identified his attacker as his own son, 40-year-old Kenneth Mortimer. While Thomas sustained serious injuries, the blood discovered outside the residence was not his. Inside the home, officers made a far more devastating discovery.
I don't think there's much we can do on that one. You want to check this is more serious? So maybe DOA. There might be a chest seal, pressure bandage in there. Yeah, I'd say so. Probably DOA.
And Orma Honda and color bearing John Mary William 5145 is diagnosed.
That looks like female here, maybe DOA. Looks like we have a homicide if you want to CIS. We have a non-suspect, but I don't know. Here.
So what garage? Their garage?
Pam?
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody? Yeah.
You want to help me clear the house? We're going to clear the house. Here, you stay, you guys. We're going to clear the rest of the house.
Well, I think we should.
You don't see a bloody knife or anything, do you? Oh yeah, back here. Okay, we'll be in to talk to you in a minute, okay? Did you see, was he alone?
The man is Tom. Tom and Barb.
Okay.
Tom's
Okay. Did you see anybody else who left? Ken? Did you see him with anything? Okay. All right, we'll be in to talk to you in a little bit, okay? Thank you. Did we get a plate on him yet?
Yes, they put a plate out, assuming that's it.
Okay. The dad told me it was his son.
That's what I just confirmed that with.
Several of the neighbors said they saw the son next door, so I think we're pretty solid on that's who it was.
I just want to make sure he's gone for sure.
We cleared the house. Tyler and I did. We cleared the house, and we have witnesses saying he drove away. And the dad said the same thing, I believe, when I first got here. Brett's been doing tape.
We'll just start looking on Flock.
As patrol units canvassed the area, officers at the crime scene interviewed an eyewitness in an effort to reconstruct the events leading up to the attack. Witness accounts indicated that Barbara Mortimer had attempted to flee the residence before being forcibly returned inside.
The Aussie doubles back.
Telephone poles, her step.
Including her house.
That's so people that don't walk through.
I think that's a good idea. I was gonna block here.
We gotta do immediate stationary too, and we're probably around the block, make sure they don't come down here. At least is what I'm.
Yeah, I'd be good with that. And if you don't mind, I'll talk to her actually. Just say to talk to her real quick. Just get her name. Do you live here alone?
My husband, he went to the swimming pool. No, I don't live here.
But you were here alone when this happened?
Yeah, I was in the room over there
Okay.
on my computer, and I could look out the door.
Did you hear anything or see
Tom
anything?
came out, and he did blood all over him.
Yeah. Did he say anything, or did you hear him say anything?
I think he said his son stabbed. And Ken is his son's name. He's got mental problems. I think
Okay.
he's in his 40s or something like that.
Okay.
He lives with him.
Did you see Ken here at the house today?
I think I saw him run around and go into the garage area, but I can't see him.
Okay, Stunner, I don't think we were able to. I don't know if Gebhardt's out with the victim, or I think they've transported already. But he gave us the code for his phone number so that we could get his son's number that way. We're still trying to find the victim's phone, though.
Kenneth's motive remained unclear, though concerns about his mental health were raised early in the investigation. Kenneth was apprehended a short time later by Cincinnati police, driving in the direction of Mount Airy Forest. Both his clothing and the vehicle's interior were heavily stained with blood. The physical evidence against him was substantial, yet the circumstances that drove him to commit such an act against his own parents remained unclear.
He was already spilling stuff immediately, so. Okay. He was Mirandized and started blurring out, and he stepped. So just okay. Just can you change your cuts out? You can make it straight along.
Kenneth, I'm going to slide these up real quick. I'm going to put the new ones on you, okay?
It's President Williamson Drive. Some email on Facebook Live. Letting her read 2 times.
I got your wallet. Where's your cell phone at, bud? You think it's in the car?
It's
Alright, I'm gonna slide over.
Thank you.
Alright, my man. What's in the pocket down here?
Nope, and I already checked it. I thought unless you put something in there. I don't know, it was whatever, maybe, I don't know. I thought it was in case I had to take a in this or somewhere after I pocket it out.
Okay. Alright, my man. Have a seat, okay?
During transport to the station, Kenneth appeared notably detached, showing little emotional response to the events that had just occurred and seemingly indifferent to the condition of his father.
5.
So was my dad at a hospital or something? What? You don't know, do you? My dad, is he in like a hospital or something? Like getting like stitched up or something? why are you guys getting so stupid with me? That detective says, my dad was, obviously bleeding in the front yard, and he was making a phone call, and I told the detectives that he was just making a phone call, and they were like, well, who do you think he was calling? And I was like, well, probably 911 since he's bleeding to I had a dream she was giving me a massage after I punched my dad in the mouth. I punched my dad in the mouth, and immediately after I punched my dad in the mouth, my Aunt Janet is giving me a massage. Oh my God, I don't believe it. Why am I going to deal with it? This just doesn't happen in, White Oak and, that subdivision and stuff. It just doesn't happen. So, I mean, I can't believe I got a gash in my hand and I can't get stitches done. You can't take me to the hospital and stitch my hand up. Don't you do that if somebody has like an injury like that? Huh? Man, are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding?
It soon became evident that Kenneth was also battling a severe alcohol dependency, a factor that would complicate the investigative process. By the time he was seated in the interrogation room, he was already exhibiting early signs of alcohol withdrawal.
So if I had an alcohol problem, do you guys have to take me to the hospital, or do you not really have to take me to the hospital? Because I'm gonna have a seizure around like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay, I mean, if we get to that point, we'll call for an ambulance for you, okay?
Well, I mean, I thought if you had an alcohol use disorder, you would be taken to the hospital or to get fluids or whatever.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so what is a possibility? No. Okay. So how many people have you heard of dying in custody because of alcohol withdrawal?
Not many.
Not many, so you've heard a few stories about it? Because, okay, well, I guess this will be the first, because I'm gonna be banging my head against something around 9:30, 9:45. Did you ever hear the term Minnesota nice? That's me, I'm Minnesota nice.
Can't say I know a whole lot about Minnesota.
Right.
I've not been there.
It's a dangerous place.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think with nice people it wouldn't be too dangerous.
That's what I thought, and then I read an article on Yahoo a couple months ago, and I started thinking otherwise. Almost for a couple months, I stayed north of Pittsburgh in it was called Cranberry Township, and I found this street where they were building, $1 million houses, and they were just at the beginning of making them. So it was a call. Just in my car there. Goldeneye was the name of the street. Goldeneye. You believe it?
Like James Bond?
Probably, yeah. And one night I heard, I'm hoping I was hallucinating, having an auditory hallucination, dog yelping in pain, like it was being tortured for like 5 or 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God, I hope this isn't actually happening to this dog. It was weird. This is why all this is happening. And there was a helicopter that kept on taking off and landing, like for like an hour or two. Like I would sit in my car, smoke weed, and I would just wait to see what this helicopter was doing. Every night it would just take off and it would just like circle around here a little bit. It had a light. It would shine its light around sometimes, and it was just really weird. I don't know. That's what else is happening. You guys made me deal with a psychiatrist in the first week of February. This would have never happened. Your partners were being. What is wrong with them? Why does he care? And the doctor at UC Hospital, he says, I'm not a danger to myself or others, but I don't understand reality.
All right, Ken. So how long have you been living with mom and dad?
Since on and off, pretty much for 25 years, but I've been living there since like 2015, pretty much is when I moved back in.
Did you ever, have you moved out to another apartment or anything like that? Where do you work?
I don't work anywhere.
Have you ever, where was the last place you worked?
I delivered food for DoorDash for 6 months last year.
Okay. And that was your only source of income?
Yeah.
How are you, paying the bills now, or?
I don't have any bills. They just buy my food and buy me just my food and my gas and stuff.
Okay, so mom and dad support you?
Yeah.
Financially with, how do you pay for your car?
I don't, why are you asking me this?
Well, I'm just trying to, I don't know you, Ken, so I'm just trying to get to know you a little.
I don't care. No. Don't try to get to, let's skip that part.
Okay.
Just don't try to get to know me.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
What else do you want to talk about?
Well, obviously you had a rough day, and I'm trying to get to understand why you had such a rough day.
I don't care. I spent 5 months in a psychiatric hospital in Michigan in 2022.
Okay.
So I don't care about anything.
Okay. What were you in there for? That why? Just because you don't care about anything?
Because the judge didn't like me, and he found me incompetent to stand trial. He just didn't like me.
So you had been arrested in Michigan?
Yeah.
What were you arrested for?
I pulled up to some lady and hit a little dent in her car and told her to and she said drove off, and then I thought I was being arrested for something else because some girl at a Hampton Inn, a housekeeper at the Hampton Inn, lied to the police and told the police that she had to run down the hall and get away from me.
Okay. And is that what you were arrested for?
I thought I was being arrested for felonious assault for, the housekeeper said I forced myself into a hotel room and took my pants off and stuff and took my belt off, and then I just wouldn't talk to my attorney, so the judge found me incompetent to stand trial.
So the thing in Michigan, you wouldn't talk to your attorney because you didn't like your attorney?
No, because I thought it was a conspiracy, because I thought for 2 months, I thought I was being charged for felonious assault for something I did to a housekeeper, when really, I was being charged with felonious assault for hitting the side of the car door and telling somebody.
Okay. So at that, you spent 5 months in psychiatric services?
I spent 7 months in jail and 5 months in a hospital.
So 12 months in Michigan.
Yeah.
And when you came back to Ohio in 2022?
The end of 2022, yeah.
Okay, and you moved in immediately with mom and dad?
Yeah.
Investigators learned that Kenneth had been entirely financially dependent on his parents for years, contributing significantly to tension within the household. He had a documented history of mental health crises, having previously been committed to a psychiatric facility. It was a dispute over a credit card statement that served as the catalyst, transforming a volatile home environment into a crime scene.
Since 2022, how have you been getting along with mom and dad?
I don't see why it matters. I don't know why you're saying that.
Like I said, I'm trying to understand the situation.
I don't want to. You don't need to understand the situation. Everything happened. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know why you want to know why.
Well, I want to know what happened today. Is where we're going.
I told them to shut up. I told them just to shut up. They were just blabbering about something on the credit card statement. And I just told them they weren't talking about anything. I told them to shut up. And then my mom said, you need to leave. She said, you're not staying here tonight. She said, go find a park bench or something. And I told her, just shut up again. And
where was mom when this happened?
Oh my God. they were just sitting on the couch, and she just said, "You're not staying here." And I told her to shut up. I told her to shut up again, and then my dad said, "Should we call the police?" And my mom said, "The police aren't going to do anything. We need to call the crisis unit." And I just grabbed the knife, stabbed my dad in the head.
Okay. Where was Dad when that happened?
He was sitting on the couch.
So your dad was on the couch when that happened?
Yeah.
And then what about Mom? What was Mom doing when that happened?
When I stabbed him, she stood up and she went, "Ah!" I guess I just stabbed her. I don't really remember. She just started going outside, and I just started stabbing her more stuff. And my dad just kept on sitting there. So
your dad stayed on the couch, and your mom tried to go outside, or did she get outside?
She got outside, and then my dad just stayed sitting on the couch.
Okay. And where did your mom go when she got outside?
She just didn't make it down the steps. She was just on the front porch.
Did she come back in, or did you?
I dragged her back in.
Okay, so you dragged her back into the house?
Yeah.
And then what was your dad doing at that point?
He was still sitting on the couch. So I think at one point he got up and started walking to the back door, and he started saying, "Stop." He said, "You're killing me. Just stop, please." He said, "I'm begging you, please stop." And I was just like, whatever, man. He went outside and made a phone call, I guess, to the 911.
So he did call 911?
Well, I don't know who else he would have called.
Did you take his phone from him?
No.
Throughout the interrogation, Kenneth displayed little visible remorse and showed clear reluctance to cooperate with investigators. However, his account of events was largely consistent with witness statements. His avoidance of eye contact suggested he may have been experiencing significant psychological distress, whether from guilt, shame, or the weight of what he had done, as he was pressed to walk through the events of that morning.
Did you know, or do you know that it's wrong to stab your dad?
I couldn't take it anymore. They were just stressing me out.
Well, let me ask you about that. So that were they nagging you to get a job or to do
No,
that?
they don't nag me to get a job. I was applying to get Social Security benefits.
So can you tell me why for what reason did Mom not want you at the house tonight?
Just because she was getting sick of me saying stuff to her.
What would you say to her?
I don't know. I just don't know what we're talking about. She was just being annoying.
So let's go back to the where do you normally stay in the house? Are you in a bedroom? Do you have the whole basement? Do you have the upstairs?
No, I just stayed in the TV room, and I would go up to my room, and I would just, drive around a little bit to get out of the house.
Sure. So where is your room in the house?
It's in the upper left-hand corner.
That's what some people, when their adult children live in their house, they live in the basement. They have the whole basement to themselves. I didn't know if you had an apartment down there, that kind of thing.
Okay,
That's what I'm getting at.
all right, well, all right.
So today, what was her main complaint with you today?
I cut up the shower curtain because the sound of the shower was stressing me out, so I cut a piece off, and then I had to use a towel to put outside the bathtub because water was leaking down. And she found a towel with a pretty soaked heavy towel, and she got
And then she's been kind of on you about that for the last couple of weeks?
No, she just found out today that that's what I was doing, and she just got upset and was furious, and she went out to, I guess, buy a shower curtain at Target or Walmart or something.
How long was she kind of griping at you and yelling at you today about it?
I don't know, probably for like half an hour.
Yeah, and after half an hour of that, you got pretty mad?
I don't remember, I just left.
When did you leave?
I don't remember. I just left a couple times today, and I went out and I bought a couple beers, and I went to the park, and I went to Mount Airy Forest and drove around, and then I drove back to the house.
Where was Mom when you left the house? Let me ask you this, when you left the house, did you shut the front door and lock it? Do you have a key to the house?
I have a key to the house, I just left the door open.
Standing open, or did you pull it shut?
Why I pulled it shut? Look, can we cut to the chase here? I mean, what do you want to know?
I want to know why you stabbed your mom.
Because she told me that they were going to call the crisis unit on me. And I wasn't. That was the last. She told me I wasn't allowed to stay there tonight, and she said that like 4 or 5 times. And then they were getting their phones and calling the crisis unit, and I wasn't having it. So that was the last straw.
Rather than endure another stay at a medical facility, Kenneth snapped.
Why didn't you want them to call the crisis unit?
Because they're stupid. What do you mean? They're stupid.
The crisis unit is?
Yeah.
And you haven't had any luck dealing with those folks?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I can understand. No, I'm sympathizing with you. I can't understand, how you feel. That's why I'm trying to get at how you feel and what set you off today.
I just told you they were picking up their phones to call the crisis unit, and that was the last straw. I had to stay in the hospital, and the first time it was ridiculous, and the second time it was even more ridiculous, and then the third time it was a joke, and then the fourth time it was 5 months in Michigan, which was just boring, and then it was the 5th time, which they called the crisis unit on me. And
have you been to the psychiatric unit here since you've been back from Michigan in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, you guys drove me down to the University of Cincinnati Hospital in the last day of January, and pretty much the last day of January, you guys drove me down to the hospital.
And you didn't want that to happen again today?
Yeah, there was no way. I was dealing with another psychiatrist. I was not dealing with another psychiatrist, and I had an alcohol problem, and I needed to drink tonight. I needed a drink tonight. That was it. I needed a drink.
Your mom was sitting on the couch. Do you remember where you stabbed your mom?
No, I don't remember.
I mean, not even part of the body?
No, I don't remember.
And where was your dad? Where your mom was sitting on the couch. Was your dad sitting on the couch?
Yeah, he just kept on sitting on the couch for most of the time.
Did he say anything to you?
I don't remember. He just said something like "stop" or "your" or something. I don't know. I didn't care.
Were you standing in front of them on the couch, or were you in the kitchen?
I don't know. It was all just a blur.
What did you stab your mom and dad with?
The biggest kitchen knife in the house.
What? When you say the biggest, about how long was it?
It was like that long.
Okay. Was it like a bread knife or a?
No, it was a big knife. It was a big, long knife.
Where is that knife now? Do you know?
I don't know. It's probably sitting at my house, unless you guys took it as evidence. Like, I'm going to stab somebody else?
So, who did you stab mom first? Is that right?
No, I stabbed my dad first.
Okay. And he just continued to sit there until your mom got up?
He just sat there. I think I stabbed him a couple times or something, and my mom stood up and went, "Ah!"
And then she tried to go to she went out the front door.
Yeah.
And she made it to what, the porch? I haven't been to the house, so.
She was just on the porch, yeah. Was
she sitting on the steps? Was she standing?
I pushed her to the ground or something. I don't remember.
Okay. So you pushed her to the ground on the porch. And you drug her back into the house?
Yeah.
Where did you drag her to?
Just right inside the house, right inside the house.
So when you go in the front door of your house, is that the living room or is there a foyer?
There's just the living room there. Yeah,
Okay.
It was just the foyer, I guess, or something. I don't know.
So you drug her through the front door into the porch, or I'm sorry, from the porch in the front door into the living room.
Yeah.
And then what'd you do?
I guess I stabbed her some more, I guess.
And where was your dad at that point?
I think he started walking. I think he was in the kitchen, and he just told me to stop, I guess, maybe, or something. And then he started to walk. I was like, what is he doing? He's standing in the kitchen like this. And then he walked into the TV room towards the back door, and he just told me to stop, please. I just said, please stop. It was like, he had to walk out the back door.
And once he walked out the back door, did you follow?
No, I think I went out the front door.
So you went out the front door, and then where'd you go?
I just got in the car and left.
Okay. Do you remember where you drove?
No, I'm not talking about it anymore.
Okay.
You thought about doing this stuff before?
What?
Have you thought about hurting your mom and dad before?
No, I'm not answering that question.
Why not?
I'm just not.
Have you thought about hurting yourself before?
I'm not answering that question either.
Have you ever thought about hurting anybody else?
I'm not answering that question.
Why won't you answer those questions?
I'm just not.
You gotta be a reason.
No, there's not a reason.
Give us a minute, we'll be right back, okay?
You agree with my you get in a glass of water? I don't know if you could do that.
We'll see what we can make happen, all right?
All right, Ken. So, look, man, you're being cooperative with us. You're talking to us, okay? You're not giving us a hard time. And what we're trying to figure out is how did things get so bad so quick?
They have been bad for a long time.
Okay.
They've just been really bad. She wasn't real. She was acting like she was going to commit to get me to feel sorry for her and have sympathy. She did it 3 times and she laughed about it. She thought it was funny. And
So this is over your whole lifetime, over the last couple months, last years?
Ever since I got back from Michigan.
Okay.
I delivered food for 6 months and then it was over.
Yeah. Well, we're just trying to figure out why did things blow up today to the point.
I told you she was picking up the phone to call the crisis unit.
Okay, and you just weren't gonna let that happen today.
That was the last straw. She got what she asked for. She wasn't real. She got what she asked for and she wasn't real.
What do you mean she wasn't real?
She wasn't real. I don't know what to tell you. I had to deal with a psychologist giving me a psychological exam last week on August 1st. And I had to tell her, well, she asked me if I hear or see anything. And I told her that I was in bed and I heard a knock on the door at like 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, what the was that? I thought I was gonna be arrested. So I immediately get out of bed and I look out the window, the front door, and there's nobody there. And there's nobody around, like nobody could have ran away that fast. They would have had to like run immediately as fast as they can, run around to the left side of my house so I couldn't see them.
What do you think you were going to
do?
arrest for?
It doesn't matter because you're arresting me for no reason. And that doesn't matter because the knock on the door, there's nobody there. I'm like, what the f? So I go downstairs, my mom's sitting there and she says, I say, what's going on with this knock at the door? And she's like, I didn't hear a knock. So that's it. All right, so, and then I hear her walking upstairs in the bathroom and I'm like, okay, she's upstairs doing something in the bathroom and she was being loud and I turn the corner and I hear the stuff upstairs and I turn the corner and she's right there in the bathroom downstairs and I was like, there's oh no. Why does any of this matter? Why do you want to talk to me, man?
Because we're just trying to figure out why things happened the way they did.
I just told you I have spent too many times in a hospital and that was it. I could not go back to the hospital that night. I had to drink at all costs. And if that meant stabbing her to death, that's what happened. So what? That's it. That's what you're asking me. I'm telling you, that's it.
Did you know it was wrong to stab your mother to death?
I don't want to talk about that. I don't care. I don't want to talk about that.
We're trying to get a full picture because, we know what happened. We're trying to figure out how we got there.
Okay, well,
and you're giving us some quick answers, and you're being cooperative. But it's, for us, we think there could be more to it, and we're just trying to figure out what that more part is.
Oh my God.
It's our job to ask questions, okay?
He did it, they just did it to himself. They weren't real. He was coming up the steps one day, and I was looking at his face, and he had all these deep lines on his face, and just the way his whole face looked, like I was just seeing these deep lines. And then he comes in the house, he literally comes in the house, grabs something out of like the refrigerator or something, sits on the chair, sits on the couch, and I look at him, and his face is completely different. It's like looking at two different people. And I was like, I told him, I said, you look totally different than you just did on the porch. I was like, you have these deep lines on your face. And he just started cracking up laughing. He just started cracking up laughing. Just laughed for a while. Could not stand her. I really had a connection with her until she started to act like she was gonna kill herself, and that was it. She acted like she was gonna kill herself last April or May, and then that was it.
On August 8th, 2025, nearly 1 year to the day after the attack on Palm Hill Lane, Kenneth Mortimer, now 41 years old, appeared before Hamilton County Common Pleas Judge Christopher Wagner for sentencing. As part of a plea agreement, the original charge of aggravated murder was reduced. Mortimer pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter, attempted murder, kidnapping, and felonious assault, along with a separate low-level felony assault charge in an unrelated case. Judge Wagner sentenced him to a minimum of 45 years in prison. Mortimer declined to speak at the hearing. Thomas Mortimer, who survived the attack, was left with fractured ribs and a punctured lung. Barbara Mortimer, 75 years old, did not survive. She was killed in her own home by her own son while simply trying to get him the help he needed. Kenneth Mortimer will be in his mid-80s before he is eligible for release, if ever.